but I do care about the woman that is going to die. And if I sequence her genome and I will understand the mutations that make her different than the woman that is living, why one is living and one is dead, I will be able now to design drugs that are targeting the same genes that are mutated in the woman that is going to die. And I'm going to treat her, and I'm going to rescue her. And now we have all the tools. We have the human genome, we have protein structure. You see, Time magazine puts a lot of effort into it to explain to the public what it takes. And I will take this woman, and I will explore her molecularly. This is another drug for breast cancer. It's called Herceptin, and it's also based on understanding on a difference between one woman and the other. One woman has a mutation in the EGF receptor, and therefore she can be treated with Herceptin. The other woman doesn't have it. I want to have now a profile of women, those that have estrogen receptor and don't, those that have EGF receptor and don't. But now I know that these two drugs that are now available are not sufficient, because nevertheless, with the tamoxifen and with the Herceptin, women can still keep on dying. And men with prostate cancer still keep on dying. That means that I didn't discover all the secrets. I see only the tip of the iceberg, but most of it is still hidden below. I need to sequence the human genome. And to get the entire profile, I want to see the entire information in front of my eyes in order to understand the difference between the two women. And then to go and target the woman that is going to die with a proper drug. Now, this looks very nice. The roadmap is clear. I mean, I know what to do. Not me, the scientific community, the drug companies. We have a roadmap. We want to sequence genomes. We want to identify mutations. We want to profile the mutations. We want to take each of those proteins that is encoded by the mutated proteins and to direct a drug that will kill it. So we have the roadmap. And the roadmap, don't ask me how long it will take. A decade and a half. I'm not a prophet, so I don't want to deal with prophecy here. But let's now look at it in the last point of my talk. Let's look at it from the ethical point of view. Do you really want to have your human sequence information at the hands of the doctor? Is it good for you? Isn't it good for you? Well, this is a very heavy bioethical problem. Now let's think about it. Even nowadays, basically, we are naked before our doctors. I'm not talking about more or less advanced societies and people that are prejudiced, but when you walk into the office of the doctor, you're ready to be, basically to be naked, physically and emotionally. The doctor needs to test you, so you have to take off your clothes, whether you're a man, you're a woman, you're a nice woman, you're an ugly woman, doesn't matter. But you're also giving the doctor information. You tell him about your mother, about the history of the family, about the drugs that you are taking. The doctor knows that you have cancer. Maybe you don't want that your neighbors will know that you have cancer. Maybe you don't want that your employer will know that you have cancer, but he may fire you. But your doctor must know that you have cancer, because otherwise he cannot treat you. So we are naked already. But the question is whether we are ready to be even more naked. Now, what is it? What's the difference between showing the doctor one breast or two? The difference is huge. It's huge. Because in the DNA, there is information that we even don't know now, but we'll know in the future. In the DNA, there is an information, for example, about our mental state. We don't know it yet. But for sure will come the day that we shall identify genes that are associated with schizophrenia, or with depression, or with heart attacks, or with Alzheimer. So let's say that I'm a young person, and I have some disease, some cancer that can be removed. Then I give a sample of DNA to my doctor. By the way, a sample of DNA is nothing. You just have to leave your fingerprint on the table, and you are done. You don't have even to give blood, because somebody will smear it from here and will do all the sequencing. So this is easy, even detectives. I mean, this is something, but we are talking about organized countries with legislation, so we are not talking about criminal detectives. Let's say that I'm 20 years old and I have a small cancer, or 30 years old. And the doctor takes an DNA, and he sequences it, and all of a sudden he discovered that I have a gene for schizophrenia, or for heart attack. And he will tell me, Or will not tell me, Aaron, you know, when you'll be 40, you'll have schizophrenia. Or when you'll be 50, you'll be depressed. And when you'll be 60, you get Alzheimer. Or when you'll be 70, you get, I don't know, another page in the textbook of medicine. So this is, do I want to know? So you can say, okay, I don't want to know. This is the doctor, he shouldn't tell me, I don't want to know anything. Leave me alone, treat me for the cancer. I came for you for a cancer in my finger. Take away the cancer, don't tell me anything. I don't understand in medicine. Just leave me alone. Now, this is one solution. But I'll show you that it's more complicated than that. It's going beyond your choice. Let's forget even about government. Let's say that the government of Israel wants to have such a strong army that will beat all the Arabs in one day. So the government wants to build the strongest army in the world. So they will take only soldiers that have DNA, only of soldiers that can run 40 kilometers with 40 kilograms of weight on their back. Okay, fine. So, but let's say that we'll hide it from the government. Let's say that the doctor will never tell the information. And nobody will ever be able to break into the computer of the doctor. The doctor will take the information on your DNA, will not tell you anything because you don't want to know, and will put it in a safe that has a 1 meter thick steel, and will bury it 40 meters underneath the ground in an atomic shelter. Nobody will ever see it. Then you say, okay, fine, the government doesn't know it. The insurance company doesn't know it if I have cancer, because otherwise they will not insure me. The army doesn't know it. I don't want to know it. I will marry my girlfriend without telling her that in a few years she's going to be married to a lunatic. And everything is fine. So this is one solution. Let me show you that this is more complicated than that. I'll bring you an example. Breast cancer. Let's go back to breast cancer. Now, breast cancer in many cases was associated with a gene that is called BRCA1. It's called BRCA1. It's breast cancer associated gene number 1. Women that have BRCA1 has 80% more chance of getting breast cancer and ovarian cancer, which is a real deadly disease. Ovarian cancer is a killer. So let's say a woman, the same woman, another woman walks to the clinic, and the doctor finds a breast cancer, and the doctor is doing a molecular test, and he finds that the woman has a BRCA1. And he tells her, you know, lady, you have a gene that makes you susceptible to the disease. And the same will be in few years to men also. They will tell him you have a gene for prostate cancer and for stomach cancer and for brain tumor and for I don't know what. Because all the information will be there. At the end, don't forget, you are giving the DNA today, but some of the information will be discovered only in 10 years from now. Now we don't know it, but you already gave a deposit. You gave the information up. It's not at your hand anymore. Now the doctor tells this woman, you know, you have a gene. So the woman will ask him, so what do I care? No, I have a breast cancer. I mean, what shall I do? No, the doctor tell her, you know, you may tell your daughter that you have a gene because your daughter may have it too. And maybe we can prevent the future cancer of your daughter. Now, she has a beautiful daughter, 21 years old, that just started to go to college, and she's starting to date a man, and she's going to be married. And all of a sudden, the mother comes to her and tells her, you know, Dorothy, you have a gene that if you'll wait enough years, you'll get a breast cancer. What? Yeah, that's the gene that you have. So what shall I do about it? Well, it's your decision. You may go to the operating theater and take your 2 breasts away. Me, at the age of 21, I want to be a mother. I want to marry Philip. I just started my life. Now think about the dilemma of this woman, of the mother. Will she tell the daughter or won't she tell the daughter? If she doesn't tell the daughter, she may kill her. If she tells the daughter, she also kills her. What is the worst of the 2 evils? But it's a gene. We cannot do anything about it. The fact is a fact. We cannot change it. Maybe there will be gene therapy. We'll be able to change in the future the profile of the daughter. But for now, we cannot do it. So the woman now, the mother has a choice to kill her daughter one way or to kill her another way. But both choices are very cruel ones. And now let's say that everything is, she tells the daughter, and the daughter will decide. What does the daughter tell the husband, the fiancé? She will go to the fiancé that she's going to marry and tell him that she has a gene? Let's forget about the mastectomy, about removing the breast. Just, will he marry somebody that has 80% chance of developing breast cancer? And if he will marry her, they are in such a big love.